Hero. Welcome back. I'm getting to say this after almost 2 weeks now. Welcome to Football Shootball. We were very busy watching all the sporting events, starting from the French Open and then hoping that the World Test Championship would turn out to be what it was supposed to be. But you know what? We've been disappointed so many times in life. There's nothing new about this.
So,
But
so
what
you
we
were you were hoping for rain, right? You were hoping for
I,
more
I
rain.
I was hoping for more rain. Absolutely. Actually, now that you touched upon this point, right? Most other sports, right, have figured out a way to manage playing in the rains. Now, how long is cricket and the fans going to suffer because of this ridiculous thing of not wanting to? I mean, play with the rubber ball. I don't care. Yeah, I mean, do something about it. This is ridiculous,
Yeah.
right?
You remember when we were kids, that rubber ball, the red color one, and it used to be so upsetting when it used to break into two, and it was pretty glorious as well when you hit a shot and it breaks into two.
Yeah, the best thing that they put like one seam also on the red
Yeah,
ball. You know, some
yeah.
of those like just to give you a feeling of reality. So do something. I mean, I don't know, play with other bats. Figure out. Yeah, I mean, you have so much money
You,
in the
you know what
game.
would be the most fun, Sapre, is remember that tennis ball, but the hard one. It used to come in
Oh
either red
yeah,
or green. And when that used to get wet, because in Bombay we used to play in the rain like it didn't matter. When that used to get wet, it used to zip off any surface so fast and so well. My God, bringing back really good memories.
it should. One memory also that now you spoke about was were these umbrellas that you used to like coil around your head. Like use that, right? Just play the fucking game, right? Give us what we are here for. Anyhow, right? That's the reason why we don't host a cricket podcast. There are other people who have nothing much better to do host cricket podcast. Ayer actually is one of them. So, but he's on a football podcast right now, and we're going to talk about the better competitions, the competition, as I would say, which is the Euros, still called 2020 for some reason.
So explain this to me. Okay,
yeah, yeah.
okay. Because our marketing guru isn't here. So you're next best. They're calling both the Olympics 2020 and Euro 2020. And the excuse that they're giving is all the marketing material is made. Now, I didn't question it then, but now I'm thinking, what the hell do they mean? What, a few flyers and a few banners and a few standees somewhere or some art designs? Like, do they not have the money to hire a new graphic designer to change the O into a 1?
They can, but they just don't want to. So much effort must have gone into the planning session that marketers go through, which is basically offsites. Given the pandemic, there were no offsites, so they said we will not work if there are no offsites. Right, so continue with what you have, or hire other people. I don't care. So I mean, the amount of effort they've put into at least the amount of effort they put in the tournament is more than what they did in the naming it. But we'll talk about that. Before we get into it, let's get on a quick break, Ayer. It's been a while. Yeah. All right, we're back from the break. Not a long break, still no sponsors, but you know what? Here we are. Shivram's not here. The reason for that is, and he'll tell you that he's become a father, and you know he'll fish for appreciation and applause and congratulations and all of that. The real reason is he had tickets to Euro 2020. Unfortunately, he couldn't go. Tournament didn't happen, so but he still wants to believe that he's there in a different time zone, right? So we're just playing along with him. So that's the reason you don't see Shivram on this episode, and he'll probably not be on the episode next week as well because Euros are still going on. But let's get the more fascinating bit outside, right? Djokovic, Nadal, the French Open final, men's final specifically. I know
Yeah,
the
that was
women's
the
final also went
semi-final.
to
Nadal
no
was
even
didn't
the
even reach the final. He was knocked out 2 days before the final. You know what I mean?
for most of
Yeah.
the people that was the final, wasn't it?
it was
I
it
mean
was
now,
absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
and it's
Two two
difficult to
weeks 2 weeks to the day, Sapre. It still feels like it happened yesterday. It's
because
exactly
the
2 weeks.
matches went on for so long. It's just never ending for some reason. Right? WTC tried the same thing. We'll also play it. Oh, some 6 day we'll keep suddenly. Pension wala plan. Ridiculous. Right? But let's end all of this. Right? We'll talk about the Euros, and before we get into the matches, Ayer, Shivram's not here, but you are here. You're the expert on everything which has to do with football. What are these ridiculous rules, right? Let's address them first. Why? What is this third place for third place teams? How do they decide? That's one part A of the question. Part B is, okay, we get it, right? You some ridiculous nonsense. Somebody was smoking water. I don't care what they were. They came up with this rule. So okay, now you have the rules in place. So at least keep it correct, right? Group A, B, C, D winners were supposed to play the third place teams. That hasn't happened. Italy is suddenly playing a second place team.
Yes,
And Italy
yes.
finished in Group B.
Yeah.
Why are they doing this? And if they wanted to be so ridiculous, just could have just had the Super League instead of this Euro nonsense.
Yeah,
Just
it
address
is.
this, please.
I don't know. It is strange. And while some parts of it were exciting, it completely removes jeopardy. Like all the teams we thought would qualify have qualified. There have been literally zero surprises. I know the Group F was probably the best because Portugal basically went up and down all four places in that 90-minute period. Yeah. But having said that, at the end of the day, it just took one Leon Goretzka goal for Hungary to finish fourth. A brilliant Hungarian side who are actually probably better than quite a few of those other sides who qualified. But it's a damn shame. But the real Euros begin now.
They begin now. Outside of Sweden versus Ukraine or whatever those matches.
Isn't that? I think that's the only match that seems to have nothing. There are no big teams there and nobody is interested. Even Wales, Denmark obviously are everyone's favorites. Wales are a fun side to watch. So even that seems to be exciting, except Sweden, Ukraine.
Somebody did say they're better than Stoke City, so why not? The problem I have with Sweden, Ukraine is they would have gone all out for it, knowing that they could face England in the next match, but that's not going to happen given that England are going to face Germany. But a good thing about that is Mourinho did say that England would change their strategy against Germany. They'll play with the back five, which is great because throughout the group stage they played with the back nine, right? So back five is always going to be better. Help me, that's the most undeserving team to bring it home, as they would like to put it, right? But let's talk about the captain here, right? Virat Kohli, after what he said in the press conference, some people in their opinion he's not the best captain suited, especially the one to take over from Dhoni, etc. What has Kane been doing in that England side?
Yeah, you think he's distracted by City? And I think Sheikh Mansour is just sending him messages saying, you have to come. Is that why he's not playing? And I heard that he has been binging Game of Thrones during the Euros. Okay. And he's never seen it before. Is that, Sapre, the best show to watch when you need to be focused? Imagine you're watching it and suddenly suddenly the episode of The Red Wedding comes in. You're not going to be playing the next day very well.
I am with you, but the fact that he's playing with so many kids in that team who are busy and they have better access to porn and violence than to watch Game of Thrones, so he's just stuck watching that particular show.
Sapre, we don't say porn; it's called sexploitation. That's the cool way of putting what they put out there in HBO puts out there with Game of Thrones. Yeah.
So I don't think. I mean, if a player is worth 100 crores or more, I don't think he should be distracted by anything that's going in the market with regards to his transfer or not.
Yeah. But honestly, on the field, it's a bit strange. He looked okay. He looked better, but not really that great as well. I think comparatively, it would be anything would be better in that last game against Czech Republic. But in that last game when England won 1-0, you could see that the Czechs realized that they will still finish second or third. Yeah. They unfortunately finished third, but it was a little dicey towards the end. They were fine not finishing top and not having to face any of the other Group F teams.
Yeah, no. The only exciting thing for me about England is Jack Grealish. I think he played a good game.
Yeah,
he's the only creative spark there. Sterling, I don't know what he is doing. He's just scoring goals, but he's not being exceptional as such.
Having said that, Sapri, let's focus on that Germany-England game then, because Germany have also been either here or like right here at the bottom. I don't know what to make of them. They went from okay versus France, which was it was a decent performance against
a very good game. Actually, it was a good game.
Then they thrashed Portugal, like the best of Germany. And against Hungary, they were bad. They were so bad. The Hungarians were absolutely unfortunate not to qualify. So I really don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, just strange, right? I mean, they got Müller and Hummels back for this tournament. Definitely not favorites to win it this time, given the way the two most deserving and teams are playing, which is Belgium and Netherlands. We'll talk about Netherlands a little later, or unless you want to skip it. But Belgium still looks strong.
Let's go back to Netherlands, because they're in the half they're in the quarter half of the draw along with England and Germany. Yeah. Netherlands should qualify. for until the semi-finals. I would think so, and then it's a shootout between one of these two sides. I think Netherlands have got an easy draw, and the winner of this match also has a pretty easy draw. Because on the
Czech
other
Republic.
half, on the other half of the draw, you have Spain, you have Italy, you have Belgium, you have France, you have Portugal, add Brazil, add Argentina, add everyone, in that side. Like it's strange. But,
to be honest, had this been 6 years ago, I would have loved to talk about Spain, but I'm definitely not going to talk about them at all. I don't know what Morata still does there in that team. It's just bloody ridiculous. But your favorite team, Italy, right? I think Locatelli has just been so far probably the player of the tournament. I know Ronaldo and the record and everything else.
But he's there at least, and a lot of midfielders have done well, and I think Locatelli is probably best of the bunch. But here's the thing about Italy: in the last match, they rested Locatelli, they brought in Verratti, and he was brilliant against Wales. So, you know what? I'll ask you honestly. You won't have a bias here. Italy probably have been, I think, the best side of the group phases.
We'll talk offline about this. I don't want to admit to anything on the show. Netherlands has been the side to watch.
Okay, so it's basically the two sides we are supporting. Our dusri countries have been the best sides. We'll just go with that. There's no one to argue with us, Sapre. It's our podcast now. So
it is our podcast. The guy who's not here supports a team called France, which they've been playing well. They haven't been really bad, but now they have an injury crisis, right? Now with Lucas Hernandez injured and Digne, whatever that. Who cares about Everton, guys?
But I think they're saying Hernandez should be fine. But you're right, he did suffer an injury, so it's a problem. Yeah.
And Dembele played really well in that second match that he started, and then he's out with an injury.
That's all. He's taken a break for 4 months now after this.
Correct. I like how one of our friends, Karan, said that next year when his contract is over, Barcelona will buy him on a free transfer. So it's just bloody brilliant. But some good matches. I'm excited, of course, about Germany, England happening. I'm also actually looking forward to Belgium, Portugal. That would be one really good match. I think Lukaku has just carried his form in the tournament. I mean, yes, Thorgan Hazard, not of course. Thomas Müller has played really well, but Lukaku is, I don't know. I think probably he's now the best striker. Now that Lewandowski is out of the tournament, at least. Yeah,
I mean, I would have said second best always. And Lewa has gone home with credit, having been Poland's only world-class player. I think Zielinski didn't turn up this time. But Lewandowski's gone home. Lukaku is the absolute leader of that team. He realizes Hazard's not there. De Bruyne is doing well, but De Bruyne also, he's only played a game and a half. He's coming back after an injury. Lukaku has been, and Tielemans has been superb. Like the two of them, I think, have been outside. This should be so much fun. Yeah, Big Ron versus Big Rom. I really don't know who to go for. I'm going to go for Belgium because in my head, I think they'll win the tournament. My heart says Italy, but my head has always said Belgium. So I'll go Belgium here.
No, definitely. The way they've been playing. In fact, even also in the World Cup, they had a really, really, really good one. Just unfortunate they lost the match against France. But yeah, that's one team to look forward to. Not too many incidents really happened this time, apart from what happened to Christian Eriksen. And I heard that BBC has got about some 6,000 odd complaints about telecasting the whole Eriksen incident. But I mean, I just personally thought it was ridiculous to get Finland and Denmark to play again after that incident. I mean, it's okay. People have nothing much to do. They can watch the same game tomorrow.
Yeah, and the next match was starting soon. So I mean, at some point, I know they're saying the players agreed to play, blah, 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 whatever. Eriksen messaged them from the hospital. At some point, someone higher up needs to just take a stand and say, no, you're done. You're not getting back out there on the field. It's pretty much as simple as that.
That's true. Any players that have...
I have just a word on Eriksen as well. It's so great that it's 2 weeks later, and from all the reports that are coming in, he's much better. And we don't even have to wonder about whether he'll play again or not. That's for a future conversation. It's just good to see him that he was discharged from hospital. He met the team. He's probably back at home and he will be supporting them against Wales. Wales are now the evil in this tournament somehow because they're playing Denmark. Yeah,
they are, and I think somehow I feel they're the underdogs now that it's absolute knockout.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Danes are good, yeah. I mean,
they're half decent players.
Remember that first half against Belgium? They should have scored 2, if not 3. I mean, then De Bruyne came on and changed the game, because that's what happens when you have De Bruyne coming off the bench. But Denmark, I was surprised they lost the first 2 games. The Finland one, you can excuse for obvious
Yeah, I can
reasons.
excuse that one.
Yeah, the second one, it was against Belgium. So again, and then they came and they were brilliant in their final group game. So super, well done to them. I think they'll beat Wales.
I know one little thing outside the Euros, and I know you also have appreciated Eriksen as a player. I mean, even when he played for Spurs, he didn't get his chances the way he wanted his life to be at Inter. Now with this injury, and I know we'll talk about transfers a little, at the later stage of it, but do you think it will affect his moving to a new club or his continue to play at Inter now?
Here's the deal. So he got a really good run after basically the board told Conte we're not selling him. Antonio Conte, they told him we're not selling Eriksen. He played Eriksen as a deep lying midfielder, and he was there till in the title run, the second half of the season. So he was an important part. Now Conte is gone. Eriksen has, these are just facts that I'm going to state now. Eriksen has a device fitted in his heart. Yeah. He has a device. It's the same device used by Daley Blind. Daley Blind plays with a device such as that. He does. So he plays with that for Ajax. There have been conflicting views on whether it's safe or not, but here's the deal. Serie A does not allow you to play with that device fitted in your heart. It's not intensive sport. I think Italian law does not allow you. So currently, as it stands, he will not be permitted to play Serie A. With that, even if he was cleared, he would not be permitted. So there's a long way to go. I think even if he has to sit on the bench, there's an insurance that covers his fees from Inter's point of view. Inter have gone and got Hakan Çalhanoğlu from their neighbors AC Milan. So they're already playing the transfer game there. Like Hakan is also an attacking midfielder, so he can play a very similar role to what Eriksen was supposed to. So Inter are planning this. I think it'll depend on what Eriksen wants to do. If he wants to leave, nobody, trust me, is going to come in his way. No club, no agent, nobody is going to come in his way.
That's true. I hope he gets a chance to play at a good club. He's a terrific player, to be very honest. I've enjoyed watching him at Spurs, and at Inter also. I think he played whenever he played. He fine.
Yeah.
I mean, the contest side, it's not easy to get adjusted to his style.
Yeah, exactly.
But he did well. But now that you made a point in Italy, in Serie A, they don't allow you to play with something like that. Maybe
so this has been reported by Marcotti, and also I'm just repeating what they're saying, and I believe them. Yeah.
Maybe Austria should take a cue from what Germany and Netherlands did as part of protest against Hungary. In the next match against Italy, they should just wear some weird ass color bands, just to speak. I don't know how you feel about this. I mean, I know after the Black Lives Matter moment, now the amount of protests that we see. The players are extremely outspoken, right after with Pogba and a lot of these players standing up for Palestine and taking their flags everywhere, and Manuel Neuer wearing the rainbow captain band against Hungary, Gini Wijnaldum thinking about doing something else. I mean, he did get excited, and he spoke that if I get any abuses, I'll get myself and the entire team. We'll do a walkout. Then he said, maybe not the entire team, but maybe I will do it, but I'll still check. But they're voicing their opinion. I don't know how you feel about it. Like, for example, India is going to play Afghanistan in the qualifiers. It's almost like a must-win game for them. What if Afghanistan players put like a band, protesting against the NCB and everybody catching drug dealers in India because Afghanistan doesn't believe in that. So I don't know how you feel about this.
I feel a bit uncomfy that the Hungarian team, especially the players standing on the pitch, have somehow been made to be seen as villains in the entire thing. It's a parliament who has passed probably an archaic law. Now, let's make one thing clear. The president, prime minister there, I forget his name, Orban. There is a lot of opposition. Recent polls show that, I mean, it's like politics anywhere. Like his approval rating, as the US like to use a lot, has come down quite a bit. The mayor of Budapest is his biggest opposer. Peter Gulácsi, Hungary's goalkeeper, has spoken enough and more about LGBTQI plus rights. To have a protester come there and stand in front of him waving a rainbow flag, I thought, why are you making the 11 standing there and the team look like villains? They have not done anything here. I don't know what their beliefs are. I only know what Gulashi's beliefs are. So I felt very uncomfy that the entire side was branded homophobic. There were certain sections of the crowd. There's absolutely no doubt about that.
Correct.
But to take away from the brilliant football that they played, I think is a bit unfair. Like, very unfair, in fact. Like, I mean, I didn't enjoy it as much. I didn't enjoy after Groetska scored, going particularly to the Hungarian fans and
Yes.
doing this. I love the sign.
Disappointing.
I love the sign, but why needle? Go to the camera. If you have a message to send, right? If you have a message to send to the government of Hungary, fine, do it. Go to a camera that's right in front of you and make that sign and say something if you want to. You can do that.
Or maybe the post-match conference would be
Where
you actually are sitting with the media and you can actually say what you have to.
I do not know why the fellow players were made to feel like they were. I can understand why it happened, but it left a little sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I just hope it doesn't go to a point where teams try to outcompete each other. Where what are you protesting against? I'll protest against a better issue. I just hope that doesn't happen.
If the mayor of Munich wanted to light up Allianz Arena, you don't have to take UEFA's permission. He could have just done it. Why did he come out and publicly say that I asked for permission from UEFA? They could have done it. I'm pretty sure Bayern Munich Stadium could have done that without telling UEFA in advance.
Yeah, so I'm sure people are also not decisive. People in authority on what exactly to do, but they're giving players the freedom to do what they have to, given the fact that the amount of hold that players have now. I mean, it was so easy for everybody to just pin the drop in Coca-Cola shares to what Ronaldo did, which evidently wasn't true. But it's so easy and so believable. Everybody believed it on day one that definitely that's the reason why it happened. But so maybe there's more power that the players have and they don't want to say.
I have no issue what Neuer did. It wouldn't have become it only came out after the fact that Neuer was wearing the rainbow armband. Great, man. He's showing support. Absolutely great. Be an ally. Absolutely. But then what has started happening was governing bodies started getting involved. Hungarian players were being branded as villains. And I didn't like that because you don't know what their politics are. You do not know what their beliefs are. They do not not everyone has to represent what a politicians have passed as law. No,
that's true.
It doesn't work that way.
That's true. No, I tend to agree with you here. We'll take a quick break. Then when we come back, we'll move to things in South America.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I mean, it just seems to me more rigged with every passing day. But let's talk about it on the other side of this break. All right, Ayad, let's just get this out of the way. How do you handle somebody like Arturo Vidal? Right? Just what does he have on the management? He gets away with everything, or sometimes just with a small fine. Yeah. I mean, the last article I heard and which we spoke about was them breaking COVID rules to invite certain interesting people in their hotel rooms. This was after the whole, hairdresser fiasco that he was fined for. But what is up with him? And he still played the last match.
Right? I mean, he will. He gets away with it in clubs like Barcelona. He's got away with it at Inter to some extent. In Chile, he's an absolute national hero. Maybe only Alexis Sanchez comes ahead of Arturo Vidal in Chile. Whatever he does there nobody's going to tell him.
I get it. I get it. The idea of heroism or your idols, are different with every culture. I get that. Like, for example, after many years, Maradona actually came out and spoke about the hand of God goal, and he said, "You know what? In this part of the world, you may call me a cheat, but from where I come from, I was called as somebody who was shrewd." Right? Yeah. So I get it. Your qualifications for being an idol are different, but this.
Yeah, he's being idiotic. Let's not make excuses for him. I was just trying to figure out why. But then it's Vidal. He's 30. He's in his mid-30s now. He knows at the end of this career. And I think it's been such a brilliant ride. We're going to miss players like Vidal. We're going to miss players like Nicholas Bentner. Bentner is obviously retired. But they don't come around. I don't see them in this newer crop because it all seems very sanitized. You're media trained from the age of 14, 15, which doesn't really help matters. You'll get answers in press conference. Yeah, like Virat Kohli, you'll get answers then. Yeah.
Correct. It's quite politically correct. But I don't agree with Copa America as well. There are two groups of 5 teams and 4 teams from both group qualify. I mean, just do some like chupan chupai nonsense shit and just get done with it. Why do you have to play this tournament? I
Yeah.
get it if you qualified 2 out of 5. No, 4 out of 5. And Group A
It's
is anyways ridiculous. Bolivia has no points, I guess. Group B has at least something going there. So it's just a ridiculous tournament for me. But talk about the two top teams who have been given the chances to win this. One is, of course, Argentina, the old man. It's a Rotary club of South America now. Any news from there? Is Messi still sharing a room with Aguero?
Yeah, apparently he had his birthday yesterday, was it? Yeah, yesterday, and everyone surprised him by. I do not know you could just enter Lionel Messi's room like that. I was surprised, and the room, as a lot of people have mentioned, looked like a college dormitory, which was nice in a way. I would have assumed it would be luxurious, like a big palace with a pool and maybe a bunch of lions in the background or something of that sort. But Messi lives like any one of us, man. Except me, I don't even have a bed, so that,
Maybe that was just for the cameras. Who knows? Right?
yeah, yeah.
But don't you think a better gift to give Messi is to just play better and just try and reach 80% of what Messi does for the team than to give him
But
some
here's
random
here's the
cake
thing.
from birdies?
Yeah, here's the thing, Sapre. We're talking on 25th June. In 1 week's time, July 1st, Messi's a free agent. His contract, he literally will not be paid by Barcelona from July 1st. What do you think is going to happen?
Barca will buy him now. It's a free agent, right? That's what. So, I mean, how difficult is that to
So,
gauge?
so you think they'll be like, okay, we don't think he's going anywhere else. Let's not pay him 1 month ka salary in July and we'll sign him in August. Do you think
Yeah, but
Barcelona are that?
where will he go? I mean, his only
Yeah.
options to play in Europe, to continue to play in Europe, were PSG and Manchester City,
Hmm.
right? There isn't much news about what's happening at PSG. Plus, I think they want to spend on other players. I
Hmm.
think once Mbappe probably leaves, they'll have enough money to cover, Messi's wage, etc. The other team is Man City, and they've already done 100 million bid for Harry Kane. I mean, with all the money that City has, I don't think they're going to get Kane and Messi. I mean, that's just FPL is just going to get screwed up if
See,
that really happens.
you're a big Premier League guy. What do you make of this Kane move, though? We didn't get your thoughts.
Well,
Do you see him fitting there? Like, will it work?
it should work. I mean, to begin with, he's a very good player. I don't think he'll take them to adjust. He's
Yeah.
a proven, goal scorer, team player, all of that. He's under the tutelage there of Pep Guardiola, apparently the best coach right now in the world. They can afford him. The problem is if Daniel Levy is willing to sell him. He wants to go clearly, right? And he doesn't want to. There are very few teams that he can also move. He doesn't want to go outside the Premier League for some odd reason. Daniel Levy is going to be cautious of selling him to a rival. I don't know why Spurs thinks all these other clubs are rivals to them. First, but I mean, to each his own, right? Let people want to live in denial. Let's give them that. I think he'll do well there. Plus, from what I've heard, they're willing to offer a player plus 100 million. And one of the player names, I mean, there is Laporte, but there's also
Oh,
Sterling.
oh,
Yeah, so I mean,
whoa.
Sterling is not a cheap player, and after his
Yeah.
performances at the Euros, whatever that we see in the first 3 games,
He's at least
that's
scoring the goals. That's
yeah,
what he's doing.
exactly,
So.
exactly. Which is what Spurs need, right? Somebody to score goals once Harry Kane leaves. Uh, Bale won't be at Spurs anyway, so they need. So I don't know, but to answer
So,
your
okay,
question,
so
will Kane be successful? I think he will.
okay,
I
so
think he's got.
here's something that I've also heard that if they don't get Harry Kane, because it could Levy, we know that is a very hard guy to negotiate with, and Harry Kane has 3 years left. Alexander Isaac is being linked suddenly, I think today, over the last few hours, with Manchester City. Now, this is the Sweden striker. He will come much cheaper than Harry Kane. He has been prolific 2 seasons ago. Last season was not his best. In Sweden, he still hasn't scored, but we have seen that his play is extremely enterprising. And personally, I think someone like him working under Guardiola for 2, 3 years, it would be worth giving it a shot, if not
Oh,
Kane.
no, certainly. It's very difficult to also understand, right? I mean, most of the season, Man City played without a proper striker. I mean, even when Jesus was fit, he warmed the bench more often than he
Yeah.
played on the pitch, right? And all of none of the players are leaving. I mean, Mahrez is still going to be there. Foden's the next, you know, player to watch out for. De Bruyne signed a new contract. They still have Gundogan. Ferran Torres probably will, in the next new season, will be better than what it was previously. So he has his options. He may go for a different striker altogether. Because with Kane in the picture, he will have to start Kane each game, which means one of the other
Yeah.
players will have to be
Yeah.
rested.
Which is why I kind
But
of like this Isaac idea, because you don't have to really start him if you don't want to.
yeah, but it's Pep, right? I mean, if he
Yeah.
benches De Bruyne tomorrow, who's going to question him? Well, let's see. I think we have time. There what's but what I said that the Copa is rigged is because just at least let Brazil perform. Let them do well. Let them work hard for qualifying, winning. Just don't make it so easy for them. Yeah, this is just
But
ridiculous.
I'll
Stop the
tell you
tournament.
something. Two days ago, I saw Brazil versus Colombia. I do not know. I know why I was awake till 4:30. I think I was watching the Pakistan Super League as well. And Brazil versus Colombia were playing on TV. Outstanding match. I think the best match of the tournament. I usually just watch the highlights in the morning. But this was a superb
That
game.
you do for the Premier League as well. So
As well, it's a similar concept. So like Colombia scored and then Brazil scored thanks to an assist from the referee. An assist, I say, because the referee literally passed the ball to Brazil when the ball was with Colombia, and Brazil went and scored. And then Neymar scored a winner in the 10th minute of injury time. So yeah, no, not Neymar, sorry, Casemiro.
Casemiro spread,
Yeah,
yeah.
Casemiro scored a winner. And we get Santosh, who's been writing into us that we were talking about Manchester City, right? Santosh is saying City are after Grealish also, or Grealish as you guys like to call him. So how? Like, is everyone going to City, and is everyone coming to Villa as well? Because they've also signed quite a few players.
No, I told you before, Grealish is going to be the next Zaha. They like Palace always ensure they don't sell Zaha. The asking price was way too much. I mean, they asked Arsenal for 70 million for crying out loud. I mean, where are they going to get the money from? I mean, they're selling Torreira for 20 million right now. That's where Arsenal is. They will just. I don't think Grealish. How many good players will City buy? And so it'll just become like a Bayern Munich Bundesliga type league with everybody going to City. But okay, but if the question of Santosh has is will he play well at City? Oh, definitely. I think he's brilliant. He's been over the past two
And
seasons.
there have been rumors, right, Sapre, that Bernardo is maybe looking for a move elsewhere, like he's looking to move out.
He will. High time, right? I think you opened my eyes to Bernardo Silva. High time he started performing at City. It's been a long time, and now with Mahrez and Torres and other players, Gundogan
Now,
doing extremely well now.
I like the segue to Portuguese players. Your favorite, Bruno Fernandes. What the hell has happened to him at the Euros? Like, he's disappeared. You know what? To be honest, I think he's still a very good player. I just think in that system, I don't think there is an exact place for him, because a lot of these guys have been playing for a long time, like either being brought up through the system. Bernardo is a late bloomer. Not Bernardo, sorry, Bruno. He's a late bloomer. I think he's 28, 29 now. And only recently, he wasn't there in the last Euros. Only recently, he wasn't even there at the World Cup, if I remember correctly. So only recently has he come into the side. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't see him starting again, Sapre, unfortunately.
The reality is, if when you know you're not going to score goals when you get penalties, why would you even put in the effort, right? So with Ronaldo being there and the team revolving around this giant figure that he is, I don't think Bruno fits in well in that system.
And Renato Sanchez came on and played really well that day. So
he did. He had a great season at Lille anyway. So good to see him coming back. I mean, the first time he came on, he just the tournament that he played, he was 18?
Something like that.
Yeah, and then everybody's eyes were at him, and then he goes to Germany, doesn't find his footing, comes to Swansea. I mean, yeah, great players like Daniel James have played at Swansea, but and Michu, of course. But but he moved to France, and fantastic season for him. Good to see him playing that final match, and he did play well. I think he helped move the ball around pretty quickly. So good thing there. But yeah, Bruno's been puzzling. He was dropped for the last match. Actually, he came off.
Exactly, which is why I was like, I don't think he's going to start now. I mean, it just feels that way. Although I think Portugal are playing Belgium. You want a guy like Bruno there. Like, if you're playing such a top quality side in midfield, maybe you do need.
Yeah, but Portugal have also been erratic. I mean, that game against Germany, they were caught out napping. Don't know what happened there. France, we felt that they would come back, but
I thought they were slightly the better side, at least in the first half. Portugal, but it was hilarious. Like, Pepe told Rui Patricio which side Benzema is going to hit the penalty. Patricio, being the smart guy that he is, went to the other side and got an absolute lambasting from Pepe. Then Nelson Semedo, when he was getting substituted, or he said, I'm fine. He's trying to tell the coach manager, I'm fine, I'm not hurt. Don't take me off. Pepe is literally like, no, you're hurt. And he's pushing Semedo off. I do not blame Pepe for doing that because Semedo, yeah. But it was an absolutely top quality entertainment.
And also Pepe pushing you and not like kicking you is just as respecting you. So just take a hint and move on.
Yeah.
Lovely. This is good. Yeah, finally so much insight watching. And
I have one more question. Sorry.
Yes.
It's coming. It's all coming to me because sitting with you now has reminded me of what has happened in the last 3 weeks. I'll give you 2 options, or you can choose one of your own. Which has been your favorite goal? Was it Patrick Schick's absolute screamer, or was it Luka Modric's outside the boot curling effort? Or you can choose any other. No, you can choose any other if you want.
I really like the Modric goal, no doubt about it. But the goal that I really liked was the one that Lewandowski scored. Right?
Oh man!
The cut inside and that curler. I know it's Lewandowski and he, he can do it. He's done it over and over again. But just to see the precision, the confidence with which he scored, for me as just Sheikh, yes, I mean it's more luck than it's nice. Yeah. Most of them don't go in. He's went in, and he'll get more YouTube views, etc. But I think the Lewandowski goal for me so far has stood out.
I'll go with Modric's. Yeah, I mean that was special. Absolutely special. Yeah, good times.
Fantastic. Hope you enjoyed. We're not going to do predictions because for us, it is now that the tournament is really taking shape. Right outside of the Ukraine, Switzerland, everything else. I hope they go out quickly so that then we'll get into absolute predictions. But yes, there are some good matches. Like I said, Belgium, Portugal to watch. Look forward to, and there is Germany going to be thrashing England, I hope, in that match. So a lot of football to look forward to, a lot of football down in South America also to look forward to if you're interested in ridiculous.
I think South America we can wait until maybe the semis. Then it make it interesting. If you have like a Uruguay, an Argentina, Brazil, and a Colombia, say that those are your 4 teams, that should be fun. But still, it would involve staying awake till 5 and 6, which I don't think any of us are at the age where we can still do it.
Then we'll learn from you. We'll watch the highlights the next morning.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Fantastic. Thank you, Karthik. And thank you, everybody who listened in. This was Muqabla Euro Special. Bye-bye.